Once upon a time, in a little town of Willamette, there lived a young weaver named Amara. She was known for her intricate tapestries, which seemed to hold stories within their threads. Her work was admired, but Amara herself often felt invisible. She lived a quiet life, spending most of her days at her loom, weaving tales she wished were hers. But life wasn't easy for Amara. The town wasn't kind to those who stood alone, and Amara had no family left. She was an orphan, taken in by her aunt, who had passed away years ago. Though her tapestries sold well, people saw her as the Weaver Girl, a title that sounded polite but came with whispers behind her back. One day, after delivering a tapestry to the mayor's wife, Amara overheard two women gossiping. "She's talented, sure," one said. "But what kind of life is that? No family, no husband, just sitting by a loom all day." The words stung. That night, Amara sat by her loom, staring at the empty frame. She felt small and insignificant. Maybe they're right, she thought. What do I have to show for myself? Now, Amara wasn't the type to wallow for long. She believed every thread had a purpose, even if the pattern wasn't clear at first. So she decided to weave something bold, something that would make people see her, not just work. For days, she worked tirelessly. The tapestry she created was unlike any other. It wasn't just a beautiful design, it told her story of loneliness, of resilience, of hope. She called it the unbreakable thread.
Wow!
When she unveiled the piece at the town market, people stopped and stared. Some admired the craftsmanship, others saw themselves in her story. But one thing was clear: no one could look away. Word of her tapestry spread, and soon Amara was invited to present it at the grand fair in the capital. It was a chance of a lifetime, but there was one problem. The journey to the capital was long and dangerous. Amara hesitated. What if something happens to me? What if I fail? She thought. But then she remembered her own tapestry, the story of resilience she had woven for others to see. How could she tell that story to the world if she wasn't willing to live it herself? So she packed her tapestry, her carriage, and a small knife for protection and set out. But she had no idea what was about to happen. The road to the capital was not kind. A storm tore through the skies on her second night, soaking her and her precious tapestry. As she dried it by a small fire, she thought of turning back. No, she told herself, every thread has a purpose. Then, on her fourth day, as she passed through a dense forest, bandits appeared. They surrounded her, demanding her belongings. Amara's heart raced, but instead of begging or running, She held up her tapestry. "This is all I have," she said. The leader of the bandits sneered. "A piece of cloth? What use is that to us?" "It's more than a piece of cloth," Amara replied, her voice steady. "It's a story, my story, and maybe it's yours too." Curious, the bandits paused. She began to tell them the tale woven into the tapestry, the struggles she faced, the strength she found, and the belief that even broken threads can create something beautiful. By the time she finished, the bandits weren't sneering anymore. The leader nodded and said, "Go, keep your story safe." When Amara finally reached the capital, she was exhausted but determined. At the grand fair, she unveiled the unbreakable thread to an audience of hundreds. Her voice didn't shake as she shared the story behind it, and when she was done, the fair erupted into applause. The king himself approached her. "Your tapestry is extraordinary," he said, "but your courage, that's what truly inspires." Amara returned to Willowmead a different woman. She wasn't just the weaver girl anymore. She was Amara, the storyteller, the brave soul who had faced storms, bandits, and her own doubts and emerged stronger. Life, like a tapestry, is made of many threads, some bright, some dark, some frayed. But when woven together, even the broken parts can create something beautiful. Amara's story teaches us that resilience isn't about never feeling fear or doubt. It's about pushing forward anyway. So, the next time life throws you a challenge, remember, every thread has a purpose. Even in the darkest moments, you hold the loom. And you, like Amara, are the weaver of your own story.